Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome back to yet another episode of Social Media Success for Professionals. And I'm bringing back one of the best ever in the industry that's going to teach us how to show up and build an online reputation as the thought leader in our space. It's the one, the only Matt Gordon. Hey, Matt, thank you so much for coming back.
Hey, Heather, what a great introduction. Always good to see you again. And, it's just happy to be here and ready for our chat.
Awesome. So if you haven't heard about Matt and you haven't listened to any of the other episodes that I had Matt on, he is the educated authority. He is out here teaching us how to show up, right, and have our own language, our own way of doing things online so that we are the trusted source. Is that a good, concise little snippet of what you do?
Yeah, I would say so. I'm so hardcore into this, Heather. I'm always telling people, thought leadership isn't a marketing channel. It's almost a business you add on top of your current business. And it's just something to me that has really come to mean a lot. And I think reputation and showing up online and in the best way possible, it's a great way to talk about it.
Yeah, right. And this is yet another way to show up differently and separate yourself from your competition. How do we get more light to be shown on us? How do we attract more of the people we want to work with? Well, this is one way. And so if you're sitting out there thinking like, well, what the heck is a thought leader? Matt, what is a thought leader?
Well, a thought leader is someone who leads thoughts. Right?
Clever.
Next question. No, so a thought leader is really someone that is not a teacher, but someone that helps people transform. Okay, so let me give you a great kind of real world example. If you are like a property and casualty insurance agent, right? Like you're working for State Farm, Allstate, one of those guys, and you've got your office set up in community and you're just looking to bring in leads so that people will buy car insurance or home insurance or whatever. Like, do you really want to be a thought leader? You just want business to come in the door, right?
Yeah.
So thought leadership might not be right for that particular person's needs. But if they've been in the business for 20 years, they've got a multi-million-dollar book of business, they know what they're doing, and they say, hey, I can get these younger insurance agents just starting out like off on the right foot and really teach them how this thing works and how to make a good living. They could be a thought leader because they've got something to offer that's going to change lives. It's going to change the way people think and the way they act.
Yeah. Wow. I love that so much. So as the thought leader, it sounds like you're bringing in another revenue source.
Oh, absolutely. It's a business.
Yeah.
Thought leadership is a business and it's a system, not a goal.
It's a system. It's a system. And I love that you said that because today what we wanted to talk about is the 5 things that you should do every day to be a successful thought leader. So it sounds like there are things that we can do right now to start our thought leadership.
Yeah. So about a year ago, I did this course of study where I got all the books about habits. I got Atomic Habits, I got Tiny Habits, I got,
habits, the habits of habits,
something like that, and I started reading these and I was really moved by this idea that if you wanted to change your life, you wanted to improve your life, get better results, you do certain things every day. And so when I applied that to thought leadership, I came up with this 5-step thought leadership system of things that you should be doing every day. And real quickly, they're learn, publish, productize, promote, and retain. Mm-hmm. And so that's the business. That's what you do.
That's your system. So, okay. So the 5-step thought leadership system: learn, publish, productize, promote, retain. So let's start with learn. You just mentioned it, man. You read what? The books on habits. Is that how we learn? How do we learn?
Yeah, I'm big on reading. Really big. In fact, I just bought a new Kindle just this past week, the new Paperwhite. Anyway, so because I'm one of those people that when I leave the house, this comes with me, right? I'm waiting in line, waiting at the doctor's office. Last November, I fell and broke my hand, and I was counting up for insurance paperwork just this morning. I've been to the doctor 16 times.
Oh my
like the
gosh.
past 3 months.
And how many books have
So,
you read?
yeah, getting better. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, anyway, learning is a big deal. And so I am all about biographies, finding people that kind of use the same strategies, and how can we take the eternal things that are always going to work, regardless of how the internet changes or if the internet is even here or not, right? Things like that. How do we take those strategies and apply them to people today that want to elevate their game to be thought leaders?
I love
So, yeah, one tool that I use extensively that I found is Book Fusion.
What
And
is that?
it's basically like, kind of, I mean, if you're familiar with the Amazon Kindle system, right? You've got all these books, and you've got this collection of books, and you can read, and it keeps track of your progress and all that. Book Fusion kind of does that, but it's just across all the platforms, and it kind of gets you out from under the umbrella of Amazon. So I do that quite a bit, and it helps me keep track. I've got a spreadsheet of about 200 something books right now that I'm either reading, or most of them I'm not reading, obviously, but in my to be read list, 225 books. So 4 currently reading, and 77 I might read for work. And I always say might read because the list is always changing.
Yeah.
Things move up the list. Oh, I got to read that next, or
Yes.
they move down the list or off the list. So to me, learning is a big deal, and I'm always surprised the number of people that don't.
Yeah. Well, the majority, right?
I think if you're going to be a thought leader, and particularly if you're going to attract the right crowd that are going to follow you and pay you and do what you tell them to do, like as prescriptions, you need people with the work ethic of study. They've got to be the kind of people that are willing to roll up their sleeves and learn something, whether it's you listen in the car on the way to and from places, or you're reading. I do as much as I can, kind of all of the above. And every day I've got kind of like little reading goals for myself, and I'm gonna carve out time to read.
I make that a big part of my day too. Started to cut your momentum off there, but I'm so excited about this, and I can't stress this enough. Reading has had a direct improvement on my bottom line, on my income, on my confidence, beyond profit. I'm now able to show up in a better, more confident way because I'm studying. I don't have to create the wheel. It's there. I'm learning from those that have blazed the path before me. And it lights me up. And so part of my morning routine, Matt, is I try to embed a minimum of an hour of reading. There was just yesterday, I got up at 4 a.m. I could not sleep. So I get up. I know, right? I'm like, what the heck? So I get up and I want to be productive. Well, if I'm awake, I want to do something that I really, really enjoy. And that was reading. So for 3 hours, I had 3 hours of quiet time in the morning and I just read. But what came from that was a book. What came from reading, I had an idea to write a book for one of my clients as a lead magnet. I only get these hits because of being inspired from other leaders.
Well, that's the thing. And people talking about not having ideas, particularly if they're kind of like in the game and they're trying to generate content and they're trying to do stuff and it's just not coming. They've got like this writer's block mentally, and I always say, well, that's because you're not getting enough content. You're not getting enough diverse content. You've got to read a wide range of things, and keep that coming. And the nice thing is you don't have to do it all at once.
Sure.
Back, when in 2020, I made the commitment to read every Shakespeare play throughout the year. and it worked out to like 11 pages a day.
Wow. Okay.
I
That's
can
not
do
bad.
that.
That's not
Like,
bad.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so that's what it averaged out to. And I got through every play that Shakespeare ever wrote in that year. And it was so cool.
That is so
Yeah.
neat. And then what was the byproduct of that? Did that at all? I mean, I know it's Shakespeare, but did it at all persuade or influence your marketing?
It kind of did, because the way he played with language was pretty cool.
Mm,
And obviously they spoke differently back in the, 1500s,
a little
early
bit.
1600s than we do. But just the way he played with language, just, going through play after play after play, you start noticing the way he put stories together,
Yeah.
and that was a big deal. And it was just kind of enlightening and interesting, and something that a year or two before that, I would have thought that's too hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
I could never do that. I could never make it there. I'd never understand what I'm
Mm-hmm.
reading. And turns out you can. you
Yeah.
you can do it,
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, and it's there right at your fingertips. Okay, so the 5-step thought leadership system is the first step is thou shall learn.
there you go.
Moving with the Shakespearean talk there. Okay, so the first thing is you got to get out there and you got to read. You got to learn. Okay, second step to being a thought leader, what you should do every day is publish. So what are we publishing?
Yeah, that's huge. Thought leaders publish. That's what we do.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. Now I don't necessarily mean writing, but I kind of mean more writing than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know a lot of people learn by hearing, a lot of people learn through video, a lot of people learn tactically, and you can provide for that, but really reading is the most direct route into someone's brain. It really is. So what is publishing? Number one, book. How are you gonna write a book? Because that's a big deal. And there are all sorts of people. And I'm not really in this business. Like, I can help you come up with your book and all that.
Yeah.
But there are people that specialize in getting a book out of you, right? And I'm,
Yeah.
that's what they do. And that may be a route that you take. But the other thing that is so important is a stream of communication. So it's more like serialized. So this is generally going to be over email, but I'm also in favor. One of the things, I think I mentioned this the last time we talked, I've got this monthly newsletter, and I'm getting ready to take it physical this year, where it comes in the mail.
Can I plug it really quickly, because it is pure gold, and I know the name of it. What is it? The Authority? Is it Authority Gold?
Authority Gold. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It literally, it's a very great name, because I'm telling you, the way you write, Matt, and what you put in there, I am inspired. And this is part of the diverse content he's talking about that you need to read. Okay, sorry. Shameless plug for your amazing newsletter.
Thank you. It's very kind of you. Thank you. Anyway, yeah. So what's in that stream of communication? We know that propaganda requires a stream of communication. And, if you've got a book, it's going to be really hard to change people's attitudes, change their thoughts, change their actions, and establish you as their go-to person. Oh, Bella's coming in behind me.
Oh, Bella.
Anyway, it's going to be really hard to do that in kind of like a one-shot deal with the book.
Yep.
It's just going to be difficult. And so that's why you need kind of an email newsletter once, twice a week, reaching out to these people. Well, what am I going to say? What do I have to do? Number one is you're doing community building and world building, where you're kind of, building this universe that you and your followers and your customers all live in, and your prospects. And that's got its own set of rules and how-tos and all that kind of thing. But that's a big deal. You're establishing yourself. So when you're publishing, I always like to think of train tracks, because what is it what is it when you always see one rail in a train track? What do you always see? The other rail, right?
Yeah.
Like, they always come in pairs. And so I like to think of it kind of like a left brain, right brain thing. Left rail, right rail, and the left rail, is what you teach, right? That's your subject matter. And then the right rail, which is so important, it's the kind of content that is it's important for your business, right? So that's where you're establishing yourself as a thought leader. That's where you're teaching them the right habits and the right values and how to think. And some of that is really made to solidify your position in your thought leadership business. So you've got to include that in there. You're establishing yourself as the kind of the attractive thought leader character. You're ingraining them in like study habit and consuming what you have to say, and you know, kind of following your prescriptions, that kind of thing. It's so important. And that's what a lot of people leave out. They just think, oh, if I just tell you what's in my head and what I know, you're going to go do it and you're going to get all these results. And that's just not true.
Right.
So you need both rails. So that's the big part of publishing. That's the big secret, as well as emotional connection. That's got to be in there too. So they've got to come to care about you as more than just a source of information, and they need to feel that you in turn care about them.
Right. And what is it? They won't care about you unless you show them how much you care about them, or how, there's a phrase out there.
Right. Yeah. There's a saying by Teddy Roosevelt. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
There you go.
And you know, I hear stuff like that and I'm like, ugh, like, put it on a Hallmark card, you know, ugh, gross. But the fact is, you know, we're not going to get into like the neurology today, and I'm not like the expert to go to on this.
Yeah.
But the way the brain is structured and the way you kind of take in and process information, you have to care about something and kind of activate those feelings before you can logically begin to analyze, accept, and really internalize it. So it's more than just a cute saying. It's really describing the way people's brains work, whether they want them to or not.
Yeah. Wow. So there we go. First thing, read. We need to get out there. We need to read. Once we read and we're inspired, we need to publish. Things to publish would be a book, and then other pieces of information that can, again, position us and share our value, share how we care about the audience. So the third thing you have here on the 5-step thought leadership system is productize. So Matt,
right,
what are we doing here? There's a little shopping cart beside this little word here, productize.
Exactly. So, well, that's what you sell. Like as a thought leader, that's what you're selling, right? And that could be a book. It could be an online course. It could be any number of things where people say, I see the value in what you've got, and I'm willing to pay to get that value and get more than what I'm paying in value back, so that I can get what I want in my life, or I can achieve what I want to do. You know, maybe they want to change the world in some big way, or they want to grow their business, or they want to become a more accomplished, better person. I don't know. That's up to you. But that's when they trade money for the value you provide.
Wonderful. So
sounds pretty important.
This. Yeah, it's very important. I mean, this is why we're in business. We're in business to make money. And what better way than to help somebody out and to serve? I mean, I think that's a really great way to make a living. And so you package your thoughts, you package your system, you package your webinar, your promotion, whatever it is. And then you got to get out there and give them a way to communicate with you. And more importantly, put their credit card in. So we need to package it somehow. Okay. So the first step is we're learning. The second step was we're publishing. The third step is we created a product out of this so that we can, live the life that we want to do. The fourth step in the 5-step thought leadership system is promote. Now I got to tell people.
You got to tell them. So that's where social comes in, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I presume you can help people with.
I mean,
but that's that to me is really the role that social media plays. So you're not necessarily putting all of this out, using social as your home base, because that's just an inherently dangerous strategy.
Yeah.
But you are promoting it, to bring people into your world. So you go find the right people and bring them back into your world and say, all right, let's make this happen. Let's do some good here.
Right.
So that's
right. And you have so many social channels out. And I love that you mentioned that it is dangerous. And this is coming from a social media marketing expert who wants you to hire us to do your social. Social is but one part of the overall mix. Let me tell you a little story real quick. So I have a dog, Miley, and so she goes and gets groomed. She'll have a spa day where she gets her mani and her pedi. Well, my what was spa day? What would we call her? My
groomer.
My goodness, my groomer. Thank you so much. The word done slipped out of my head. So my groomer texts me, Heather, oh my gosh, my page has been hacked. My page has been hacked and I can't get back in. This is the only channel that she promotes on. So if you are her, you know, how does that feel? I just want to loft that out there to everybody listening, that it is dangerous just to have your advertising and just promote on social. So what else do? You do email. Oh yeah, you just said you're going to go a physical newsletter. So there's other avenues that you can use to promote.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would consider the physical mail more in the publishing thing, but how do you promote it? You know, you promote it online. You promote it. You know, one big thing is there are people out there that think that thought leadership is basically PR. It's using other people's audiences. So one thing you can do is do what I'm doing right now. You go on somebody else's podcast and you deliver value. You say, here's where you can reach me.
Yeah.
You know, and you're gonna pull some of the right people in. You're gonna get people to maybe mail on your behalf and say, look at what Heather's giving away, or look at what Heather has to teach.
Yeah.
All these kind of things. So those are some of the ways that you can do that.
Yeah.
Including and in addition to social. So there are all sorts of strategies for that.
Yeah. Bunch of strategies. Okay. That's our fourth point. We're bringing it on home here for the 5-step thought leadership system. Learn. Let's go out there and learn some things. Publish. We got to do a book. We got to do a newsletter. Productize. We need to wrap that into something that somebody can spend money on. We need to promote that thing so that they are aware of what we do. And then finally, step number 5 is retention. Retain. Tell us about that.
Retaining has to do not with water, but with with customers, right? So what is the most expensive, most difficult thing you can do in any business? You know, provided you're not doing brain surgery.
Yeah. Like acquire a new client.
Right. And so for the health of your business as well as your mental health, you want to hold on to that person as long as you can.
Yeah.
Now, when you're just content marketing, where you're just throwing information out there and teaching, you don't really care. Like the dictionary doesn't care that I only looked up one word last week or something like that, right?
Right.
But you've got to retain that customer, and that's all about building that relationship with them and the emotional connection with them. That's just such a big deal, and you're building this world with them, kind of using the tools from fiction so that they feel like they belong. They feel like they found their place, and they're connecting with you and other people that are like them. And they say, wow, I found my people, right? So what is it that you can do to kind of build those ties in between yourself and your followers, but also between the followers themselves?
Yeah.
It's a big deal. You know, when you go to the baseball game, you don't care just about what's happening on the field. You care about the people you're with. You care about the people sitting around you. There's like a whole thing going on, right?
I care to know where I'm going to get my next beer. No.
There you go. You gotta take care of that too, and then fill out the mortgage paperwork so you can pay for that beer. Right?
Yeah, right.
So anyway, yeah. So yeah, that's retention. It's a big deal, just like in any other business. You know, what are the 3 ways to grow a business? Well, you make more sales, you get people to buy more when they buy, and you get them to keep buying as often as possible for as long as possible.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
All there is to it.
Yep. That's why memberships are so profitable. Subscription services are profitable. You got to keep communicating and keep doing business with that person. And, for us, Matt, I mean, when we have small businesses. Okay. So if we had 20, 30, 40, 50 clients that we kept on year after year after year, I mean, what freedom does that provide us? What, it helps us know that the money's coming through the door. It gives us peace of mind. Overwhelm goes down. And it's also a feeder system for even more business from the same sort of type of client. So that last step almost might be the most important step.
And what's nice is, I'll give you a little hint here. If you really care about something and you go to the bookstore, are you just going to buy one book about that subject, or are you going to buy 2 or 3? You're going to try to learn all you can. You're not going to just watch one YouTube video. If you're thinking about buying, a new gadget or something like that, or, a new dishwasher, what have you, you're not going to look at just one source of information. You're going to find as much as you can. That's what's so great about the thought leadership business, is that, if you buy a car from me, if I'm a car dealer, all the other dealers have lost that sale. They are not going to get to sell a car to you for years to come, potentially. Thought leaders play in a much less competitive environment. And so you can use that to your advantage.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is our opportunity. That is our opportunity right now, as we're marketing in this new, sort of way, is to go deep on those clients. So there you have it, kids. Look, the 5 things you should do every day to be a successful thought leader. My friend Matt Gordon just outlined it for us. It is learn, publish, productize, promote, and retain. And by the way, you have an amazing blog post all about this at The Educated Authority. Can you tell us about your site and that blog post? And also, you have another site that we should go to. Yeah.
I've got 2, which defies the rules a little bit, but I do. So Educated Authority is where I post content a lot. It's sort of like the professional version of what I do. So, you can go there, check that out and all that kind of thing. But if you really want to enter my world, if you want to hear more from me and you want to get value from me on an ongoing basis and decide if maybe you need my help or not, where you should go is youcanbeathoughtleader.com. Just write it all out, no spaces. Youcanbeathoughtleader.com. And that's a simple site with like the opt-in box right there. You're going to get daily tips from me. I'm going to be throwing stuff at you and you're going to love it. And if you don't love it, you just drop out and unsubscribe. But I think you're going to be happy. Most people are. Yeah. And that's something that I do to give that helping hand to up and coming thought leaders really on a daily basis, because this is a daily work kind of thing. Yeah. Kind of like exercise, right?
Yep. Absolutely. So, your thought leadership grows stronger and stronger. So you can be a thoughtleader.com. Get on his daily emails where he's going to help inspire you to be the best thought leader out there, give you tips, tricks, all the tools you'll need. You can be a thoughtleader.com. Matt, this has been amazing. You have helped. I see where I am and can finesse my thought leadership and put a new plan into place for this year and beyond. And I'm very excited about that. So thank you so much for providing this awesome little 5-step plan that we can do right now to help us profit more, really.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm happy to help you, happy to help. Any friend of Heather's is a friend of mine. So glad to provide some value today, and hopefully, if I can just get those wheels turning, I think people are going to be able to do some really cool stuff just with what we discussed today.
Absolutely. And don't forget, the first step is learn. The first step is learn. And you can go and do that at youcanbeathoughtleader.com. Matt will deliver the learning for you. Matt, thank you so much for joining us again. Can't wait to have you back on. You can be a thoughtleader.com. If you want to work with Matt, please, you're in very capable hands. So thank you so very, very much.
Thank you, Heather. We'll see you soon.
All right. I'm Heather Holloway, and you've been listening to Social Media Success for Professionals. Thank you so much for being here. It means the world to me and my team. Hey, remember, check the show notes for resources and links to other episodes, and don't forget to hit that subscribe and follow button to be notified when new episodes are released.